So welcome to this weekly update video, and it's going to cover several things. First of all, the Air Force Hurricane Hunters have been investigating Hurricane Guillermo, and the results aren't too surprising. I mean, they did confirm that Guillermo was still a hurricane, even though the CPC estimates, as I suspected last night, are probably way too high, and they pretty much confirmed that, and that the flight level winds were around 81 knots, and the surface winds by FSFR were around 72 knots, I think. I mean, 72, 73 knots-ish is probably without that data would support. When you realize it may have not sampled the deepest convection, the system may have, that does support an intensity of 75 knots. The CPHC went 80 knots. That's personally a bit high. I don't think the pressure, however, was really low. And 974 millibars was probably the pressure measured. Which is an indication that Guillermo, which is an indication since pressure lags wind, sort of, that Guillermo is probably an intense hurricane, like at least high in category 2, low in category 3 maybe. I mean, you see probably peak around 95 knots with the data supported at the time of the peak, and that's probably a good estimate. I don't know if you need to revise in postseason or not, but this is my personal opinion. I mean, you can see the hurricane's you can see the recon. Since data overall didn't find anything to impress the structure. I mean, you can see some of the very high level flight level winds were actually around 85 knots range, and I think it's supposed to be about 85% of that. If you take around 85% reduction from October, that does somewhat justify the intensity of about justify intensity of around with a conservative reduction factor of 75 to 80 knots. I mean, and it wouldn't be too surprising if that was the actual intensity of the system. And that's probably the reason why, even though this hurricane's really gone to crap. I mean, there's still some good alpha here. I mean, it's kind of still, you can tell it's clearly a hurricane, but it's a really disorganized hurricane because there appears to be some mid-level shears kind of preventing it from. This is never anything fully aligned for whatever reason. This never really got to be tilted. This is almost like an Atlantic storm. In EPAC, we've seen quite a bit of this. This EPAC season has been a little more Atlantic-esque in years past. This hasn't been just straightforward. This has been straightforward, simple hurricanes like we've been seeing this season. This is like more of an overcomplicated situation. I mean, this hurricane is still a pretty decent Hawaii threat, if you ask me. I mean, this seems likely to continue on the west-northwesterly course, and that will take it pretty close to the big island of Hawaii in about 3 days, and later to the rest of the islands. I mean, it's just the storm's motion is going to slow some. So, and as a result, the main threat will be, of course, some higher winds and some higher than usual winds. And it really depends where, and then, of course, some heavy rains and a threat for some mudslides and power outages. I mean, that's the general threat. I mean, intensity, it kind of depends how this holds together. There's a chance this might hold together a little bit longer than you may think. Because, first of all, shear isn't supposed to go over 20 knots until the system reaches the whole. It's practically near the big island. So I do definitely think the system should stay. I mean, a formidable tropical storm by that point. I mean, circulation's not ready to spin down yet. It's how ugly this storm strategy presentation looks. I mean, this is really a classic example of a shear hurricane. Like, you can see just, the shears just kind of prevents any like vertical stacking, kind of causes the cloud patterns to become irregular, and kind of creates some downdrafting, and kind of just screws everything up. Just can't, the wind just kind of like screws the whole structure up. That's why this didn't get as strong as I thought it would. This wind, some of it I think was in the mid-level of the atmosphere. We don't really have a good idea on how mid-level shear affects tropical cyclones. So it's going to be interesting that I haven't seen any research on it. All I know is I know a few systems from time to time be affected by mid-level shear. Now the biggest story right now is Typhoon Sound, which is rapidly intensifying overnight. Like, that are Wilma style intensification. You can see now some very cold cloud tops have developed, surrounded by a dreaded pinhole eye. You can see right here, passengers seeping past. See, kind of passengers seeping into with a pressure of 958 millibars of the core, and that was when this was still in the midst of rapidly intensifying. The ice starting to warm a little bit. And I mean, it appears that many an hour replacement cycle may be starting soon, so we may see some weakening, but the system cycle much higher than 105 knots. The joint typhoon estimate has it because constraints will be broken for this storm. This is a pinhole eye type. Pinhole eye types aren't on the regular. This is having that nature like Blanca or Wilma, Amanda, Elita, Forrest is probably the poster child of this. And Forrest had some really cool cloud tops that the hurricanes yet to match. Forrest was kind of like had high-end cloud tops. This is a very, very, you can see this one has an excellent moisture. You can see some very good outflow channels. You can see almost of that. Kind of had a TC image picture you sometimes see. It kind of looks like that a little bit because you can see some two excellent outflow channels. I mean, the Dvorak estimates I've been doing several fixes on them. They range from around, it's been oscillating between 6.0 and 6.5. It may have actually peaked a little bit for the first time, and maybe starting to come down now. We'll see. We'll see what happens though. And now a replacement cycle may be starting. I'll get to that in a sec. This is overall this is pretty much the Wilma of the Atlantic, or the West Pacific, or kind of the most recent version of Wilma. Because you can see this is probably only a mid to strong tropical storm yesterday. Now we have what's probably a system that's somewhat close to Category 5 intensity. You can see here's on black to white. You can see some beginnings of the Iowa replacement cycle invisible now. Overall, with that said, this is still no joke of a hurricane. I don't think it's going to weaken much. This was a little bit close to its peak intensity. You can see some very cold cloud tops wrapping around. During the Iowa replacement cycle, I don't think the storm's going to weaken too much. You can see it's very evident on radar. It may take a while. It depends how stubborn the inner eye wall is. Once the inner eye wall goes bye-bye, the outer eye wall needs to contract. And as long as it doesn't become too big, this is to do it the right way. And it should actually benefit and not have a 30-mile wide eye like, and the inner core become disrupted like what happened with Nanka, Blanca, and a few other systems. Nanka, Blanca, probably the best examples. You can see, here's the micro, you can see a very, very small pinhole eye here. You can see some evidence of an outer eye wall trying to form. Another issue is that during outer replacement cycles, and the system's going to handle it the right way, but structurally the system remains intact. It's almost an excellent moisture envelope. I mean, there's some dry air, but I don't see anything significant for the next few days as the system continues on a general direction that's been going on. I mean, you can see here's some surface dry air, and I do definitely see some drier air, like, out here. But again, it's not on the surface as well, but I don't see any significant problems. Now, back to the Eastern Pacific, I think we can expect some more activity, kind of over the upcoming days, just because of what we have going on. The Europeans trying to come to agreement on yet another tropical cyclone, doing what Guillermo is doing now, almost in the exact same location, a little further east, in about a week. And likely continuing, we'll see what's going to happen. What happens with here, because on some of the earlier European ones have kept it south, but this one kind of curved it north and have it kind of moving closer to Hawaii. As it heads west, and you can see another couple systems starting to form down here on the way towards the European one. I mean, on the and you can see the GFS run. You can see it starts to develop this somewhat. Some of the GFS ensemble starts to, well, the operational GFS run doesn't show it. Some of the GFS ensemble start to develop this pretty quickly. And you can, even in a couple days, and given how fast Felicia, Guillermo, and Edie have developed, probably all faster than expected, I think the system will contain the same general theme. Kind of typically get this in these kinds of storms. In this part, you kind of typically get this in like these El Nino years, like we saw in 2009 to a lesser extent 2014, on these relatively fast rates of Genesis. I mean, Genesis can take so long, but this is one of the cases where the process is going pretty quickly. And the GFS kind of continues on a westerly course later this week. This is kind of the same, but it's almost a similar setup. So we have a convectory coupled Kelvin wave coming. Let me find it for let me look this up. Stare at the wall for a second. Let me find this. But you can see it, so you can see the GFS is just kind of underdoing. It's having issues with everything. It's kind of having a little bit of a, on the globe standpoint, a right bias a little bit. Even then, the GFS is still hitting at some small, convectory coupled Kelvin wave. Coming over the passage of this part of the world within the next few days, followed by an eventual suppressed Kelvin wave, and we'll see what kind of effect it has on the basin. I think eventually logic will say the MGO is probably going to eventually try and make its way back to the Pacific sooner or later. I mean, you can see, never been way back to this, and that should probably help this future system. The agency currently is already given a 0% chance of development within 2 days and a 30% chance of development within 5 days. They kind of moves it, kind of almost on a little bit of a similar course at Guillermo. Then he kind of pulled this a little bit out to sea, eventually pull us out to sea. It kind of having the system passing to the north of Hawaii. Obviously, it's still several days out, so we'll have we'll have plenty of time to watch the system, but just as an early heads up. And it looks like we're right towards the heart of hurricane season now. Now let's take a look at some of the guidance. You have the JMA run, model run. I mean, let's take a look at some of the MGO guidance at the GMA, UK Met, and the long-range European models. They have a lot, in my opinion, probably a much better grip on this MGO situation than the rest of the guys. And they tend to keep in more of the Western Pacific, especially the MON. They're probably most realistic when they're keeping the wind kind of entering to the Pacific for probably the next month or so. I'm going to give them the El Nino base state. MGO is usually a weakness. What we usually have, MGO just kind of collapses when it tries to go in the Indian Ocean, and then kind of falls apart again. MGO kind of collapses in the Indian Ocean, kind of tries to reform and retrograde back to the West Pacific. It's kind of a constant motion problem to see all season long that will allow for continued tropical cyclone genesis, since we have been seeing a lot of MGO and Kelvin wave records as of late. That will allow for continued tropical cyclone genesis over the Eastern Pacific. I mean, however, this is not convincing, as some of the short-range European, both the GFS kind of have some very weird base day and its ensembles. They have which seems a little bit less likely to materialize given, well, maybe in the short term, but given that probably causing tropical cyclone genesis issues, maybe partially contributing to some genesis issues in the Atlantic. Because the phase 2 in the long range, because the phase 2, phase 3 is like, even phase 4 kind of favors genesis over the Atlantic. But even then, short term, I think this situation seems less likely to, again, materialize due to the El Nino base state, but we'll see what happens. The point is, we're likely to get around the system a week, probably from here on in, but at least the next couple months. Anyhow, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye. Bye.